More young adults are leaning on the bank of mom and dad. For the first time ever, half of American parents are financially supporting their kids, their adult kids, according to a new report. Parents are shelling out nearly $1,500 a month. Whoa. Life is expensive, sure, but here's where it gets interesting. While Gen Z complains about the cost of living, a new poll shows they're splurging on high-end luxuries, concert tickets, designer fashion, and vacations. In fact, the average Gen Zer carries $94,000 in personal debt. Jackie, you may have a few thoughts to share on this issue. Would you kindly?
Carrying that kind of debt, first of all, is a terrible way to start your life. And I know people whose parents are subsidizing them in ways that are beyond what you could even imagine. To live in luxury apartments, to take lavish vacations and dine in restaurants that, you know, adults I know haven't even necessarily dined in. And so you just sit back and say, what are you teaching your kids? You're not teaching them to be on any kind of budget. And you and your money may not be here one day to protect them or to afford them some of these novelties that they're enjoying. And so I really sit back and say the best thing a parent can do, and albeit I'm not a parent, but is to teach kids about money and say, okay, you're making X amount of dollars at work. You're not going to concerts. You're not spending money on expensive sneakers and clothes. You're going to actually make a budget in a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, and you're going to live on that budget. And that means you're going to go without some things too. And as you make more money, then it can be aspirational, and you can do some of that stuff and teach them the right way to live and spend.
Taylor, do parents need to practice the tough love of cutting off the $1,500? That's a lot of money per
I know.
month.
No, I was very upset with my parents when they did this. I was 22. It was May. I just graduated college. They gave me until about September to figure it out, or else I was coming home to get a job. And I remember one job that I had at the time wasn't enough to pay rent. And so I asked them to help me out, and they said, no, try to get a second or a third job first. So I got 2 jobs, and I still asked them to help me. And they said, show us a budget in Excel about all the income from the 2 or the 3 jobs, plus rent, plus a budget for your grocery list and what you think. And then if there's a shortfall after that, we'll think about helping you because you're working. As long as you're working. I think I get frustrated when you're just sitting at home and parents are like, oh, sure, here's the money. But I was showing a good faith effort to try to pull a couple jobs, and then they helped supplement me for a couple months until I was able to get a promotion and work my way up.
Bill, did you pull up the spreadsheet at 22?
I didn't know what a spreadsheet was. I wish now that I knew that. I remember when I was 12 years old, and my father said to me, he said, Billy, I got 5 of you. I can't pay for all of you. When it comes to college, you're on your own. Yep. So I was pretty much cut off at that point in my life. But listen, we don't have to take fun out of our lives. I mean, like concerts it's good fun for anyone.
$6,000
Taylor Swift tickets cost a lot.
I think the question is, what are the parents paying for? And in my case, it wasn't much. At a certain point, it was cut off. But I mean, living in New York City, I mean, sometimes you wonder, like, you know, if you're in your 20s, like, how do you pay for this? This town does not make it easy for you. And without some support from above.
I lived in a 5-floor walk-up, and we had mice.
Yep.
And you know what? My parents knew about it, and they kind of were laughing because we were learning lessons at that time in our life, and I was learning how to budget.
Living with mice is good for your soul, Tegan.
My mother always said, she would come visit and say, you need to live in a doorman building. Right. And I would look at her and say, are you going to pay for it?
Right.
And she would shut up.
Yeah.
May she rest in peace.
Right.
And same for your sweet daddy.
Got
I think that you can't live in New York. Like if you're starting out, you got to go live somewhere else that's less expensive. And I think a lot of these parents are just footing the bill so the kids don't move back home. They don't want them back there. It's like stay gone.
Could be.
That could be worse, actually. Yeah. You know, if you eat at McDonald's, you listen to CDs, and you know, you watch the football game on Sundays.
Would you bail your kids out?
Oh no, we've had this conversation. I'm a pay for chores kind of guy. I know that's very controversial on this.
My dad gave me $20 when I graduated from college and said, if you get married, elope. And that was good advice.
I might not be.
I'm on the second, you know, been 2 marriages. So.
All right. On that note, we've got a great second hour of the Big Money Show coming up, and a thank you to Bill Hammer for being here today.
Good to hang with you, sir.
Hard to top
You're the
that.
best.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.